all about
lies that you may be believing on your weight loss journey. Wow.
Today.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. Today we're going to talk about the lie. I think this one could be across the board for every one of us who's ever been on a weight loss journey. I'm just going to gain it back anyway, so why bother trying?
Have you said that before? I know you and I have said that before.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we used to do all those fad diets too.
Yeah.
And we know that, especially with the cabbage soup diet, we knew we were going to gain it back. We just wanted to gain lose 5 pounds to fit into those clothes so that we could go to that party and then gain it all back. Like,
what is the point in that? Oh my goodness.
What a pile of hogwash. We could go on a big rant about fad diets.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so many of them. And they just keep us stuck believing these lies about our own weight loss journey. So if you're believing, I'm just going to gain it back anyway, so what's the point of trying? Comment below. Comment and let us know if this is a lie that you need to
break.
What's the word?
Destroy.
Yeah, destroy this lie or the disbelief in your mind.
Yeah. I want to say, a lot of these lies are really actually quite complicated to break down, because the truth might be that you have lost the weight a whole bunch of times and just gained it back. So
yeah, because we did.
Exactly. And you're probably the same way, because most of us are if we've been on fad diets. And so
in fact, the statistics show that if you do a fad diet, you probably most certainly will gain even more weight than you
started with.
Than you started with.
Like, the stats show that you actually gain 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds for every fad diet you go on. And so
crazy.
Like, the statistics even tell us that this lie is actually kind of a truth, right? Because the statistics are showing us that the fad diets aren't working. You've lost the weight and gained it all back. We've lost the weight and gained it all back. But it's still, like, so it's complicated, right? That lie that's going on in our head saying, I can't do it, I'm just going to gain the weight back anyway. It's a lie, but it's kind of the truth. And so it's complicated, and we have to unpack that and unravel that. And I think really, as we were getting ready to come on and do this video, it's like, we have to shift this mindset from diet to healthy lifestyle. And that is where the distinction comes in. Because if you are going on another fad diet where you're making these extreme changes, going like crazy all or nothing, then you are just going to gain all the weight back as soon as you go back to your old ways.
I know. And so what you do is, like, so you gain the weight back, and then what you do is you live like that for a little while, and you go, oh, then you're tired of the way you look, and you're tired of the way you feel, and you want to feel better, and you want to get healthy, and you want to lose the weight, and then you say, okay, I'm going to try again. I know I can try again, only to do the same fad diet again.
Yeah. Isn't
what we have to do is we have to get rid of that fad diet mentality in order to break this lie. We have to establish a lifestyle that is sustainable for your life. It's not a one and done, and then you go back to your normal way of eating. You know, if we don't change that major component, we are going to keep dieting and gaining. That's called the yo-yo dieting, and it is so frustrating.
It is.
So if you've done that before, like we have, we finally, a couple of years ago, figured out that we have to make this a lifestyle. And we have completely changed our lifestyle.
Yeah. And we want you to know that it's possible for you to make this your lifestyle too. And you know what? The exciting thing about that is it means that you can continue to live.
That's right. And that it means that you will have freedom with food. Maybe for the first time in your whole life.
Yeah. It also means that you're going to have to continue to be vigilant for the rest of your life about your health. That's not going to go away.
And that's a big, big component of this.
Yeah. Because a few weeks ago, we shared that we've been on like another, what's the word? Like we've had to
cleansing.
Yeah, because we were both
detox,
finding that we were all of a sudden eating too much sugar again in a day. And so we've had to scale back on the sugar and go like, whoop, we got to start managing our health a little bit more in this particular area. So
yeah, becoming more aware of what we're taking into our body. Because even though we're eating healthy, little things creep in.
Yeah.
You have to be vigilant.
And so shifting from a diet to a healthy lifestyle, like, we're not going to say it's the easiest thing in the world. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. But I think, like we've said so many times, we have to choose our hard.
That's right.
Are you going to choose the hard of staying stuck and overweight and unhappy with yourself and never feeling good and having heartburn all the time and having joint pain all the time and not fitting into your clothes and like, bleh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, that sounds like a
death sentence.
That's right. A lifestyle death sentence. And I don't want to live like that. And I know you don't want to either. So it's time that we take back control of our thoughts and of what we put into this. What did you call it the other day? The
trash can?
The trap or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like a garbage can if we're putting garbage in.
Yeah.
So let's stop that. And let's start to get back to basics. Let's stop believing the lies. And let's understand that with God in the journey, we actually can break that lie cycle, and we can believe the truth, and we can keep the weight off. We only have to lose it this last time and then keep it off.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's actually really exciting.
It is.
And it's still going to be a bumpy journey. There's just no easy way to say that. It's going to be a bumpy journey. It has been a bumpy journey for me.
It's been a bumpy journey for me. It's been a bumpy journey for you, or you wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
We're all the same. We're all women trying to get to the same point, and we can do it together.
Yeah, but it's like we were just saying, we have to choose our hard. Are we going to continue to choose the hard of continuing to eat all the crap and feeling like crap? Or are we going to start choosing the hard of saying yes to the healthy choices and in moderation saying no thanks to all the stuff, right? Like, we have to use moderation. That didn't really make sense the way I said it, but I think you get the point I'm trying to make, right? We have to start saying yes to the vegetables, and we have to start saying no thank you to an overabundance of sugar.
Now, I love what you said. We have to start saying yes to the vegetables. If you're somebody who doesn't like vegetables, you just need to start changing that attitude and start to eat them regardless of if you love them or not. Unless you're allergic to them, but you have to find some vegetables that you like because they fill you up and they control your cravings. And once you're feeling full and satisfied, you're not going to be going for the sweets. I know it's been really hot where we live the last couple days. Like, it's been 40 degrees where we live, if you can imagine that. But we do get 40 degrees here.
Yeah, like 102, 103.
Yeah, so it's been so hot. I've been eating even more vegetables, just raw vegetables, and having a little bit of dip with it. And actually I've had that for a meal a couple days. And just vegetables with some dip is a really good thing to eat on a hot day. And it fills you up.
Or even for a snack.
Yeah, you feel full and you're not wanting anything else because you're full. So you just have to stop saying you don't like vegetables. You need to just find some that you love.
Yeah, I think shy of it being a medical reason, what we're saying is you need to get over yourself and start eating some vegetables. And find some that you like. We're not saying if you hate tomatoes, go eat 4 tomatoes for lunch. I don't like tomatoes very much. I will eat them on a sandwich, but I don't like just plain tomatoes, okay? I don't eat very many tomatoes.
That's right.
But there's 100 other vegetables I love that I eat a lot of.
Broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini. Raw zucchini is really good. Try it if you haven't. Cauliflower.
You said cauliflower.
What's the other one?
Kohlrabi.
Yeah, kohlrabi is really good. What else? Carrots. Radishes. There's just
turnips.
Celery. There's so many things. There's another
peas,
one. That's
peppers.
The white one. Yeah.
Rutabaga.
Yeah, but turnip is good raw too. Like, there's just tons of vegetables out there. Add a little dip and make that part of your lunch at least, or make it all of your lunch, and just see how different you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So you might think, this is too scary for me. Like, it's too fearful to change my lifestyle. How am I ever going to give up fast food? How am I ever going to give up the soda or the pop? How am I ever going to give up those Twinkies? We're here to tell you that, like you said earlier, don't do it and don't be extreme. Do it gradually, do it a little bit at a time, so that you can prove to yourself that you can change.
And I think the key to that is don't tell yourself you're never going to have it again, right? If Twinkies are like the biggest thing in your world,
which they're not mine.
No, they're not really a big thing in Canada like they are in the States. But anyways,
maybe it's donuts or something.
Yeah, or like the drive-through, right? If a milkshake is your thing, then don't say I'm never going to have a milkshake again. But maybe say I can't have a milkshake every day and lose the weight and reclaim my health. Right? So don't be so extreme. Like, tell yourself you're going to have a milkshake once this week then. And instead, here is the key. I think when we think about making healthy lifestyle changes rather than diets, I think the key is that we have to start using moderation and portion control. Right? So if you're going to go have that milkshake, have a small one. You don't need to have an extra large milkshake in order to enjoy a milkshake.
Just because the price makes more sense, you get more value for your money, don't do it. Just order a small one.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've said in the past, like, we think about bang for our buck when it comes to food, but what about value for our health?
That's right.
You know, like we're so worried about getting our money's worth when we buy food, but what about the value of our health? My goodness, like...
Yeah, wow, that's a big one. That's a loaded question, and you should be asking yourself, how do you value your health?
Yeah. Is your health worth that extra 30 cents that like, you know, the extra 30 cents you're paying for a bigger size? Is your health worth that? I don't think so. Because you know what? The other thing is that even though it's a better deal, you're still spending more money to buy the bigger one. So you're actually saving yourself money and helping out your health. So there you go.
So if you're believing this lie, I'm just going to get it back. So why even bother?
Yeah.
Then we have a few points for you that we just want to talk through now that we're done this rant.
Yeah. Because we know this is challenging.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're saying all these things like it's easy. We know it's not easy.
Yeah, it isn't easy. And we know that so many people struggle with this lie in their heads. And if you're one of those people, today's verse, we just love it. It's Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, and I'm going to add the word because some translations say this, do not fear anything, not even your weight loss journey, not even a lifestyle change. Do not fear your lifestyle change. For I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. He's there, Jesus is there to walk along beside you, to hold you up in your weight loss journey, in your fear, in letting go or breaking the lie that's in your mind right now. He is there for you. And we have to just claim that promise.
Yeah. And I think, like, when I'm thinking about that verse right now, I'm thinking about it in terms of weight loss and changing our lifestyle. It's like when we're saying no thank you to something, really we're denying ourselves an immediate pleasure or an immediate gratification. And I think when we do that, what we need to do, because it's hard to do that, and then sometimes we feel sorry for ourselves and all the things, but what we need to do is we need to surrender it in those moments and remember that even in those hard moments, he is upholding us with his righteous right hand. And if you think about becoming more like Jesus, Jesus denied himself a lot of gratification when he was walking on earth as a man.
Yeah.
And so we're called to be more like him. So again, let's use this as an opportunity to grow in our faith. And I think in so many other areas of life, we are willing to deny ourselves the instant gratification, but we find it so hard with food, even though we know that we're going to go eat again in another hour, right? Like we find it so hard to say no thank you to the donut right now, and yet we know we're going to go eat something else in an hour for lunch. So we have to turn our mindset around from this like, oh, I have to say no, to like, no, I am going to deny myself this right now for the sake of my health, because I love this body that God gave me, because I'm caring for this body that God gave me. And in doing so, I'm learning to be more like him.
That's right. That's a really, really good thought. We need to do that. And I just looked up the word dismayed just to see what it actually says, but it's like distress. We're not supposed to be distressed or dismayed because God is there with us, holding us up. So we know we can do it. Another verse that we all talk about is Philippians 4:13. We can do all things through him who strengthens us. So we can change our lifestyle to make it a healthy one. And that doesn't have to be a drastic one. Like we said, we can start little by little. And we're going to talk a little bit and give you some examples later on. But let's ask God for strength. Let's ask him for wisdom. Because he will give us wisdom when we ask. What should you change? What is the one habit or the two habits that you need to change today to start? We just need to start giving ourselves a healthier outlook on life, a healthier basic diet.
Yeah. I think we're doing this mini series about the lies you might be believing, and Margie had commented, this particular lie on our last video, and we worked
thank you, Margie.
with Margie so much, and so we know Margie quite well after working with her over the years, and I'm reminded, Margie, as you commented that, I know you love to stop for a scone after you go do your workout, right? And that was one habit that you found really challenging to change or let go of in building a new healthy lifestyle. And so as we were preparing for this and talking about, like, don't be so extreme, don't tell yourself never, never, never. And I think, Margie, for you, it's like, if the scone is your thing, then don't say you're never going to have the scone, because then all you're going to think about is the scone. Instead, maybe say, on Friday, I'm going to go get myself a scone, and really sit down and enjoy it and lose the guilt from eating it. Like, enjoy it and make it part of your healthy lifestyle plan, that a scone is part of your 20% from, like, your 80-20 rule. And so, like, if it's a scone for Margie, the rest of you watching, think about what your thing is. Like, my thing is chips, that I don't want to say no, 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 never, never, never. And so I've told myself, yeah, I can have a few chips once in a while. That's okay. I still lost the weight and ate a few chips here and there. I didn't eat chips every day, and I didn't eat a whole bag of chips in one sitting.
That's right.
But I still ate some chips along the way.
Yeah, the whole thing is portion control, because you don't want to deprive yourself, because then it just feels like a drudgery. This is not supposed to be a drudgery. It's supposed to be a lifestyle of joy, of freedom with food. And so when you can choose, and you can choose to say no, you're choosing your heart. And so sometimes it's going to be a yes, and sometimes it's going to be a no. But if you can do that, you will find freedom with food, and you will be able to persevere and make this a new lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what we want this to be. It's a learning process. It's not a quick fix. It's a learning process that we're still learning.
Yeah.
In fact, this morning I made waffles, okay? I made a new recipe, and I made them banana waffles with spelt and almond flour. Spelt flour and almond flour. And
from our Volume 2 cookbook, for those of you that have it.
And so if you don't have a plan, I really recommend to go and look at the description area, get our 10-day WeighDown Plan, because we know it works, and it has helped thousands of women lose the weight. And so today I was making this recipe, and they were falling apart. Like sometimes in a waffle maker, you put it together, and then when you open it up, when it's done, it goes, and half is up here and half is down here. And it's like so frustrating. But
because it takes a long time to make a batch of waffles when you only have one waffle maker, right?
I know. And so I just kept persevering, and I'm going to tell you, it was a flop. Every waffle did that. I didn't have any healthy spray, so I didn't use any spray, and I should have, but I didn't. But I just persevered, and they still taste really delicious. They just don't look delicious.
Yeah.
But
that actually reminds me of I saw a reel the other day that was like, we've all been making pancakes wrong for this whole time. And it's like, we make these nice round pancakes, and then we get them on our plate, we cut them all up. So why not just have, like, scrambled pancakes from the beginning? So it's this reel of somebody, like, making their pancake, and they pour the batter in, and then they just scramble it.
That's
and it's
what
like,
I have scrambled
it's brilliant.
waffles.
It's actually brilliant. See, you're just one step ahead.
I love it.
Saving yourself the
work. That's
work.
what I'm going to call these, scrambled waffles.
Yeah.
And they're delicious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways.
Oh, yeah. So it's really a mindset. We can make healthy things that taste delicious. Sometimes they look really good too.
Sometimes they don't. Cherie, welcome. She says, I get to be here for your live. What are some ways of escape that God has given you to get through those moment-by-moment battles with food on your weight loss or maintenance journeys? That's a great question.
That's a loaded, great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some ways of escape? Well, you know what? We're going to think about that while we just go through some of this points. You can think about that.
Well,
while
I kind of have an answer already.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I think one of the big things is like distracting yourself or shifting your focus onto something else. Like when I have this obsession over chips or whatever it is, I leave. And sometimes I can't leave my house, but I might go outside, I might go downstairs, I might go do 10 jumping jacks in the other room. Like get away from having the temptation right in your face. That's a big one. We've talked quite a bit in the past about Christy from Life Unbinged. She's another Christian weight loss. She teaches different things than we do in terms of losing the weight, but with a lot of biblical principles, which is amazing. And her thing is like stop, pray, and walk away. And so I think when we are face to face with those temptations, that is such an awesome temptation plan where it's like, nope, stop, pray. Like it can be like, help me God. It doesn't have to be a big, long, elaborate prayer, and walk away. Go find something else. I think that's a big key. I think the other thing like we're talking about is knowing that this isn't saying I'm never gonna have this again. Like just because I say to myself right now, no, I'm not gonna have some chips right now, that doesn't mean I'm saying I'm never gonna eat chips again. It means no, not right now. And I think sometimes to myself, I tell my kids all the time, no, you can't have that right now. You've had enough sugar, you've had enough junk food. And they're like, oh, okay. And they go carry on. So if they can go carry on, surely so can I. And like, I can have it another time.
I think another thing that you do a lot is Casey drinks a lot of water.
Yeah.
And so water can really fill you up and stop your cravings pretty quickly, because all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not even hungry. I'm just full of water.
Yeah.
But another thing that you do is maybe have a club soda.
Yeah. Or like a soda water.
Soda water, fizzy, and put lime in it. Something like that, lemon or lime in soda water is really tasty. And it feels like something special, and kind of is, it has some sodium in it. I'm going to say a little bit of sodium, and that might...
Some of them don't though, actually.
No, some do and some don't.
Yeah.
So you have to watch that. But even the fizz can just take your craving for that salty chip or whatever it is for you away.
Sometimes I have gum. I'll chew some gum. That will help.
And you always have vegetables in your fridge.
Yeah.
Or fruit.
But I think also this depends on your personality. Some people absolutely cannot have a little bit and walk away. So then it's better not to have any. I'm the type of person who I can have a little bit and then I can go, okay, now I can let it go. So sometimes I say, no, not right now. Sometimes I say, if I want something sweet, sometimes I'll take 3 chocolate chips out of the freezer and eat 3 chocolate chips, and then I'm like, okay, now I can carry on.
Yeah.
And I have to be careful that I don't have 3 chocolate chips 15 times a day, but sometimes that is a strategy too, depending on your personality, I think is
It really depends how addictive you are or how addictive your personality is.
Yeah. So I think
that's a very good question.
It is a very good question. Yeah.
Hope that helps.
Yeah. Well, and actually also our Should I Eat That guide has really helped me too, because I think if you think about logic versus emotion, our emotion takes over in those moments of wanting something to eat.
Yeah.
And so when we take a step back from our emotions, because we shouldn't let our emotions run our life, because they will lead us astray very quickly. And when our emotions are like, I have to have that, and it's like this desperation, then we have to take a step back from our emotions and not let that run our life. And that's where our Should I Eat That guide has helped me so much, because then I go why am I here to eat this? Which emotion am I trying to feed right now in the thing? And do I actually even want to eat that? And so many times, if I actually stop to take the emotional charge out of it and go is my stomach hungry right now? Do I actually want to eat that? So many times the answer is no.
No, it's just a craving.
Yeah.
Or it's just an emotional fix.
Yeah. And so that has really helped me too, to be able to go no, I actually don't even want that right now. Sometimes I'll even do that with coffee. I'll be oh, I should have another cup of coffee. And then I'm I actually, my stomach, if I think about drinking another cup of coffee right now, that does not sound good. But everything about me wants a cup of coffee. And so, like, it's just funny like that. If you actually
it really is.
Take a step back from the emotion.
Yeah, because what it makes you do is become aware of what your emotion actually is. We don't think about that very often. We don't think about why am I feeling, or what am I feeling, and why am I feeling this?
Yeah.
Because lots of times it's about stress or worry.
Or boredom. That's a big one too.
Yeah, and we just want to fill that with food.
Yeah.
And instead of realizing what it actually is, because once we realize what it is, then we can turn away from food and go, oh, I don't need the food. I can do this to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it is going out for a walk. Sometimes it is sitting down and pondering. But always reach out in prayer, because that is a way of escape.
Yeah. So that was a really great question. Thanks for asking that, Cherie. So back to our, like, breaking these lies. I'm just going to gain it back. We talked about we need to make sure that we're seeking guidance from God. We also need to make sure that we are renewing our mind, because if we think about lies, so often lies are just like a little perversion of truth, right? It's like the truth is there, and then the enemy comes and perverts it a little bit, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, until it's this big lie that's taken over everything in our life. Yeah. And so we have to be renewing our mind every day, and we have like a little affirmation that is so helpful for us, just to say, with God's help, I can maintain a healthy lifestyle. Like, but that is truth.
That is truth, and we have to get that into our head. While we're on a weight loss journey, we want to be saying, with God's help, I can lose the weight. With God's help, I can shed the weight. With God's help, I can keep the weight off. With God's help, I can maintain a healthy lifestyle. With God's weight, I can change. We need to be constantly saying these positive affirmations, because otherwise, this is what's going to come back. I'm just going to gain it 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 back. And if we keep telling ourselves, I'm just going to gain it back, what's going to happen? You are just going to gain it back.
Yeah.
So we have to flip it and go, with God's help, I can maintain a healthy lifestyle. With God's help, I can lose the weight. With God's help, I can shift my mindset.
With God's help, I can say no thank you.
Yeah. With God's help, I can turn away from the junk.
With God's help, I can eat the vegetables.
I love that one. So let's cut out the excuses.
Yeah.
Okay? Because really, that's what we're doing. If we don't want to do these things to help ourselves, then we're coming up with excuses, because we can do it. Do we want to do it? Are we willing to do the hard?
Yeah. And that actually just makes me think, like, sometimes I think we end up in this headspace where we're like, we know we need to lose some weight, but we're not ready to lose the weight, but we're still trying to force ourselves into weight loss. And I think sometimes we need to actually ask ourselves, like, am I ready to be on a weight loss journey right now? Because if you're not, it's okay to just take a break from that and just focus on healthy eating.
Yeah, just focus on your health.
Yeah.
Don't even think about changing your lifestyle, but do focus on your health.
Yeah, we're not saying go willy-nilly and overeat on every meal. Like, we're not saying that.
Because the Bible talks about gluttony. You know, there are things as believers that we just have to take from the Bible and go, this is sin.
Yeah.
And we have to, that's a black and white. Like, there is no gray there.
Yeah, exactly. But we can still treat our bodies really well without being in weight loss mode.
That's right.
Because we've said so often, like, there's a really fine line between weight loss mode and maintenance mode. And if you're not in a position right now where you can focus on weight loss mode, then right now focus on healthy living mode.
That's right.
Okay? And so I think that's also something that we have to address, because I think as women, we have this, like, inherent need to be on a diet or trying to lose weight. Otherwise, we feel like we're not worthy.
Yeah. And you are worthy without being on a diet.
Yeah.
God made you in his image. You are valuable. You're a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
He also has said that our bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit. So we need to treat our bodies like the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
How would you do that as a believer? How do you treat your body as a temple? There is a fine line, but if you're treating your body as a temple, you should not be practicing gluttony. Like, that's just...
Or starvation mode on the totally opposite end of the spectrum.
Those are just, like, basic logic things when you look at scripture.
Yeah. So ask yourself, like, if this is a lie that you're believing right now, I'm just going to gain it back anyway, then maybe it's time for you to take a break from weight loss mode and learn to accept that God loves you today exactly how you are, and start practicing like loving the body that God gave you enough to take good care of it. Forget the weight loss for now for a while.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's time to actually do that, because I think sometimes we just are so tied up in our heads about I have to lose the weight, I have to lose the weight, I have to lose the weight. And sometimes I think we need to take a break from that and focus on like, no, I'm going to take care of my health right now.
Yeah.
Forget about the weight loss for a little while.
Forget about the overwhelm, because
Yeah.
you should not be overwhelmed in your weight loss journey. Sometimes when we're starting a new plan, yeah, it's overwhelming for a day, 5 days, maybe even a week.
Yeah.
But you get into the routine of healthy living pretty quickly, so it should not be overwhelming. If you're being bombarded by the devil and you need to break these lies that are in your head, then focus on renewing your mind and treating your body well.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we have to get our mindset in the right frame of mind. We have to focus on gratitude. We have to focus on the progress that we've made already. Like if you've been in this journey for a long time, then you need to celebrate that you've had progress. That is something to celebrate. If you have changed some bad habits into healthy habits, that is something to celebrate. Like there's lots of things that you might have overlooked. You might have progressed so much, but you're not giving yourself any credit.
Yeah, as women, I think we do that so often.
Yeah.
And actually, Michelle Gabriel, we're glad you're here because we were going to talk about you a little bit today in this particular journey of learning to create a healthy lifestyle, because we know from your journey over the last few years that it's taken time to shift your mindset from fad diet to healthy lifestyle. But you have made so much progress, and it's been bumpy, and I'm sure it's felt slow, and it's felt up and down, and I'm sure you felt like, why bother? And I know you've gained a little bit back here and there, but you have persevered.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is ultimately the key, is consistency and perseverance in the healthy, good decisions, because that's what, like, one unhealthy meal doesn't make you unhealthy, and one healthy meal doesn't make you healthy. It's what we do consistently over time. And Michelle is that story unfolding.
Michelle, you're living proof that the road is bumpy. You know, it's been a little bit like that. It's been rocky, but you constantly get back up. You have realized how important exercise is to your health, and you're enjoying it. That's what we got to do. We have to make this lifestyle one that we love and enjoy, and you're doing that.
Yeah.
And once you do that, it just gives you this freedom. Like, you don't have to go for a bike ride.
No.
You get to go for a bike ride. You actually have time today to enjoy a bike ride out in nature, enjoying the beauty that God's given us.
And you can go on a holiday and go indulge in the food there a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Not overindulge.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a difference between enjoying the food that you're saying yes to than being a glutton.
Totally.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
good job, Michelle. Keep on. And I think the other thing about Michelle is she uses the scale as a measurement of progress. She does not let her life be dictated by the scale.
That's right. And
like, you can tell that just by watching her, that it's like, well, you know, I gained a few pounds. Oh, well, I'm going to carry on.
Yeah, it's going to come off again.
Yeah.
You know, different times of the month, we are a pound or two heavier. That's life.
Exactly.
That's how God made us.
Yeah.
You know?
Shoot, I wish he wouldn't have done that. Right?
You know, that's just how he made women. And so we have to keep on keeping on regardless of that. We have to be patient.
Yeah.
We have to persevere. But if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, because I know hi Miranda, you're here too, and you're feeling overwhelmed because you started with Whole30. Not sure why I feel this way. I think I'm going to go back to the 10-day plan. Never feel like that. Yeah. You know, new plans can make you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, they can.
I'm going to say, Miranda, Whole30, there's nothing wrong with Whole30.
Yeah, in fact, it promotes a lot of really good healthy foods.
But it is restrictive. So that's probably why you're feeling overwhelmed.
Well, actually, I did Whole30 years ago, before we came up with our plan, and I really did not feel well on that plan, and I'm not sure why either. But I did not feel good doing that plan. And I have friends that do and have done it and have felt fantastic. Yeah. But I felt terrible on that plan.
And you didn't lose any weight.
I don't think I did.
No, you stayed the same.
Yeah.
So it's a healthy plan. There's nothing wrong with it, and we're not dissing that plan.
No. Because at least it's about eating whole foods,
it's about
right? It's actually awesome from that perspective.
From that perspective, but but it's not. It doesn't mean you're going to lose weight, because you still have to portion control to lose the weight.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, Miranda, if that's what you keep on doing, just make sure you're portion controlling.
Yeah.
Or if you're not overwhelmed and you're feeling, or if you are overwhelmed and you're feeling like it's too difficult and you're not losing the weight and you can't make that your lifestyle, then don't do it. Mm-hmm. Then do one that you can do as a lifestyle, because it has to be your life.
Yeah.
If you're going to just do it for 30 days and then go off of it, it's not your lifestyle.
No.
So that is overwhelming when you think of it like that.
Yeah, it is. Well, and that one too, it's like, am I supposed to eat this? Am I not supposed to eat this? Am I allowed to eat this? Am I allowed? Can you have sweet potatoes, but I can't make them into fries? Can I have a regular potato, but I can't, there's a lot of nuances to that one too, which again, they're trying to get you thinking about health. But yeah, I felt overwhelmed at the beginning of that one too. Yeah. For sure, Miranda.
And you're also allowed to eat a lot of potatoes on that, right?
No, it's changed over the years here and there. I think when I did it, you could have sweet potatoes, but no white potatoes. Okay. I don't know what they do with it in the current day. Yeah. I don't know if it's changed again or whatever, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to just say to you, Miranda, is if you're overwhelmed, you shouldn't be overwhelmed. You want to just live a lifestyle that gives you freedom with food. Mm-hmm. And so just think about this, because I heard this morning and it really encouraged me, is that however you're feeling right now, just think about this. God knew where you were going to be right now today. He knew your feelings for today before you were even made.
Wow.
Before you even formed, he knew what your thought was going to be today. Mm-hmm. He knows you that well. And that just kind of overwhelmed me of the awesomeness of God.
Yeah.
Just to know that, God knows about our finances. God knows about the decisions. Like my husband and I made some big decisions this week in our financial situation. God knows, and he knew that before we were born. Wow. Like, that's incredible. And it just comforts me to know that God knows. Mm-hmm. And you can pray about it. And it's easy to say, well, just pray about it. But we've said this so many times. We shouldn't say, just pray about it. Prayer is the best thing we can do. That is the biggest thing that we can do. And so, Miranda, pray about it.
Yeah.
Michelle, pray about it. Cherie, pray about it. All of you women watching, pray about your weight loss journey, because God knew you were going to be in this journey before you were born.
And he has a purpose for this journey in your life.
And that should encourage you and just make you just give God the glory and the praise, because he is with you, walking through and alongside of you in this journey.
Yeah, and just further to that point, look at, God might not be having a purpose in your weight loss journey like he did in ours, but look at the purpose he had in my weight loss journey of creating the 10-day plan and being here talking to you right now and trying to encourage Christian women in this area of life. Look at the plan and the purpose he had in my weight loss journey. Wow.
I know. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
And it just it's so overwhelmingly awesome.
Yeah.
To think that God knows us that well and he loves us that much.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we need to be obedient.
Yeah.
Because he has good plans for us.
Yeah. So let's just remember that, and let's take that and let's allow that to help us each day. Mm-hmm. I'm going to mention Carla Harris as well, because Carla Harris said that she has lost over 75 pounds. And here's what her words to you are. Hang in there. and take it one day at a time. And I wrote that down specifically to tell you today, because those are wise words from anyone who has lost weight.
Yeah.
Take it one day at a time, because the Bible tells us that even the birds don't worry. The lily of the fields don't worry. Like, God takes care of them. How much more is he going to take care of you?
Mm-hmm. But I actually saw a quote about that the other day that was really good. It was like, God promises, I forget it, I might not get it quite right. God promises to feed the birds, but he doesn't throw the worms in the nest.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like God provides
That's right.
the resources that we need, but we have to do the work.
But
And
he's going to be there to help us.
Yes, but we can't miraculously wait for the God to provide the right time and the perfect circumstances and all the things. We have to act. And if we want to lose the weight, if we want to reclaim our health, we have to act. We have to do the work. God is going to be there with us every step of the way. His strength is made perfect in our weakness. But if we sit on our butts and don't do anything, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Amen. Miranda says, yes, potatoes are allowed. Yeah, so Miranda, I just want to say to that point, just remember that potatoes are 100 on the glycemic index. Mm-hmm. So our plan is all about the glycemic index. And when you eat something that is like a potato that's 100, it's going to spike your blood sugar. And that's going to prevent you from losing weight. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to do other things. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't eat a potato, because our plan has potatoes too. But just don't eat a potato by itself. Have some vegetables with it, some greenery stuff, so that it's not spiking so much.
Yeah.
So that your blood sugar.
And again, that is the good thing about Whole30 is it's like you're packing in the vegetables.
So don't just eat the potato by itself, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, well, we need to get going, because I have to get going to pick up my kids from VBS.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So I think that's all. I think we just want you to say, remember that you are valuable. God does love you more than you can even imagine.
And just because you failed in the past and gained the weight back does not mean that that has to be your destiny. It's like we said in the last video, your genetics don't determine your destiny. Your past does not determine your destiny.
The lie, I'll just gain it back, can be broken.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
And thank you, Emily, for being here. A body in motion stays in motion. Keep clear and healthy mind. Amen to that. Amen. That's a great line.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep those positive affirmations going, because with God's help, we can maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. One more thing we need to say before we sign off is that next week we are going to take a little break from this mini series because I'm going to be away at the beach. Yay me.
We're still going to have some videos for you.
Yeah, so we'll have some videos for you next week, but then the week after we'll be back to this mini series about the weight loss lies that you might be believing. So until next time, remember that you are a beautiful woman chosen for greatness.
And we totally believe that you can do it, because we know you can.
Bye for now.